right, guys, welcome into Above Ground World News. It's the 7th of June. We made it a whole nother week with all the massive craziness and satanic stuff going on around the world. On top of all the volcanoes and earthquakes and what NASA says, asteroids, meteors, close NEOs, man, we're getting hit by every direction. We've got some good guests in here tonight. We got Richie from Boston. We've got Pastor Steve, along with Cannons and Daryl, as always. We may have Timberwood jump in a little bit later. Anyway, let me bring him in here. If my scene will switch for us, we will bring him in. Oh, there he goes. Okay, I was starting to worry. All right, guys. Hey, glad you guys could jump in here. Pastor, you with us?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Well, hey, brothers, we did a show with Ron Johnson the other day. We were talking about this satanic tunnel stuff going on. You guys want to kind of start with that, and we'll just kind of go from there, and then wherever it takes us is where we'll end up.
Well, I guess I'll start if that's okay. Yeah. People got to understand that this is, a lot of people can just blow it off and say, "Oh, it's just ridiculous." No, it's not. This is the kind of stuff. This ceremony that we watched in Switzerland at the opening of this tunnel it couldn't have been orchestrated from Revelation if they tried any harder. Literally everything that you saw with the eyes rotating, the goat's head representing Baphomet or the symbol of Satan, the woman in a scarlet dress with the hair of gold, all predicted in Revelation 17. Now you say, oh, it's hot, just ha. No, it's not. It's literally the beginning of opening up Pandora's box. Started 6/6/16 yesterday, and folks are going to see the world changing. We already are, obviously, and people want to bury their head in the sand. They can, but I'm telling you, the world is starting to wake up, and I'm very grateful for shows like this to be able to warn people. Man, I'm telling you, things are going to change real quick.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, the signs, they're coming from the heavens. They're coming from everything. The Bible, we're going to script, and people really need to sit back and think about what's going on, because it's coming.
And here's the thing, the end is not yet. Jesus said, when you see these things begin to happen, that's when you need to start looking up. And I'm telling you, right now, things are beginning to happen, and I think that's one of the reasons why you guys do the yeoman's work that you do, to try and warn people and at least try and open up their eyes, even though many will laugh and some won't.
Well, it's kind of like the days of Noah, man. They laughed at him and mocked him, but look how it ended up.
Exactly.
It had never rained before.
You definitely need to get prepared, everybody. Learn how to do things, how to keep your food cool, how to start looking into what you need to do to be prepared for anything, for any natural disaster. I'm right here on the West Coast, and they're doing a Cascadia drills right here in my backyard for a week, and talking about tsunamis and everything else. So I'm right here in the in the midst of it. But it is very important to be awake and be prepared.
Yeah, not just physically, mentally, spiritually.
Oh, amen.
Well, it's funny that you guys are bringing this up, because most misunderstood men in history were the wisest men of all. You got Plato, Socrates, Tesla, Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Who was murdered, by the way, by police following orders.
Now we're gonna jump into a lot of other stuff here in a little bit. I know, Richie, you got something going on in your neck of the woods tomorrow that you're gonna try to live stream that, or
that's on Sunday, Mike.
Oh, Sunday.
But I just want to say something real quick, because this is really, really odd. We were on with Ron yesterday, and right when it started to get good, the weather got incredibly ugly in his neck of the woods. And as soon as you went live, the sky turned black here, and it is thundering and lightning like you read about right now. Wow. We were just talking about this before the show, and here it is right now. It's really odd.
Yeah, and I think that happened to us 2 weeks ago. I can't remember what we were talking about it on the show, but all of a sudden we had tornado warnings soon as I started the show. So to me, that's just more signs. I mean, if people listen, God whispers to them, and you just got to take them signs and run with them. I mean, that's what got me doing what I'm doing now, is I listen to the whisper, and then here we are. You know, it's the battle between good and evil. That's what we're trying to save as many people as we can.
It's true, man. It's true.
Well, there's all kinds of evidence too with these Nexrad towers. Weaponized towers are due to the weather as well.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going on. Richie, did you have something you want to add about that tunnel stuff? The stuff
well,
you took from it?
First thing is that you guys got that Cascadia going on, that huge drill out on the West Coast. We have Sunday. They've decided FEMA is going to fill Fenway Park where the Red Sox play, and they're going to reenact a live shooter drill. So it's going to be FEMA, state, police, local police, the military, and it says the military will be testing out their latest, anti-terrorist toys, top secret stuff. So I'm going to be live streaming there. I'm going to try to get it up to Dabu's channel for them. But this is crazy. They're running drills all around us like a great big fence.
Yeah, and I got to add to that, man. You know, we've seen these military Russian UN vehicles over there where they're doing the Cascadia thing. We've also had military vehicles seen today in Chicago. And get this, in Topeka today, they didn't do tornado siren tests. They did bomb tests, like the I can't remember what they're called, but it was for an attack. It wasn't I posted on my Facebook. I'd had to look, but yeah, it was the sirens for a aerial attack. It wasn't for tornadoes. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, they're calling this drill the largest drill ever. I mean, they're having it everywhere. So
it's scary stuff, man. Scary stuff.
They've had a link up too for the 2020 Olympics, where they're having a man-made asteroid field hit over the 2020 Olympics.
Yeah, we actually have a near-Earth object today. It's only about 7 meters big, but it's only a quarter lunar distances. I mean, they got it as a condition code 6. But man, we just had, something hit over Arizona, and NASA has never come out and said, oh, that was a meteor or whatever, but they jumped right on this and called it an asteroid. And to get through that town, you got to have an escort, and it can only be through certain times of the day. So I mean, there's something, they're practicing something. And when I seen the picture of the supposed smoke cloud, man, that didn't look like no meteor or asteroid. That looked like chemtrails almost.
Right. Yeah, something's definitely brewing for this summer, man. And they're doing their rituals left and right. Talking about the Gotthard tunnel ceremony. I mean, I was telling you guys earlier, and I said it yesterday, but when I watched that ceremony, the 25 minutes worth that I got to see, my heart fell. I mean, a guy running around wearing a goat's head, people acting like they were demons wearing veils, and he's tearing the veil on stage. And Pastor Steve had mentioned the Revelations reenactment. I mean, you can tell it better than I can, Steve.
Well, yeah, and in Revelation, it's literally, like I said, the skit was as if they were reenacting Revelation chapter 17. At the end there, you see the goat, which is the sign of Baphomet. You have these eyes walking around, and I can tell you right now, it's Revelation chapter 17, verse 3 says, so they carried me away, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast full of the names of blasphemy with 7 eyes, and that's why they have those eyes circling around. Of course, we all know about the Illuminati connection. And then it says the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet. That's that woman at the end who kind of stuck her belly out acting like she's pregnant. She's giving birth figuratively to the Antichrist, who is the spawn of Satan. You've got the horns there, and we've got these what do you call it? These arches, these replica arches 1,400 of them going up all around the world, representing the arches of Baal. Baal was a god in which they sacrificed children on. They used to take live babies back, a couple 4,000 years ago, and lay them on the burning hot, red hot iron arms of this false god, and beat the drums to beat out the crying of the children. And now we've got this Swiss government, or a combination thereof, at the taxpayer, if you will, the taxpayers of Sweden anyway, or the UN, whoever funded this thing. And then you just read Revelation 17 and watch this video, and you'll say, oh my goodness, they are literally reenacting the Bible. But here's my point. As often, or as tempted as some people might be to laugh this off, it's no laughing matter to the devil, because what we're literally doing is, without knowing it, giving him permission to come deeper and deeper into the lives, or into the world. Ephesians chapter 6 says we don't wrestle against flesh and blood. Our fight isn't with each other. The fight is in the heavens. We wrestle against principalities and powers of darkness that are in the heavenlies. It's all just coming together. If you didn't know the Lord, if you didn't know Jesus as your Savior, it might freak you out, but it just makes me get excited, because I know the time is short.
See, and that's something that I've always fought, is the religion side of things, and I personally believe that people of religious faith need to wake up to the modern times, because you're talking about Revelations 13:3 talks about Obama, and it, right, word for word, it says one of its heads seemed to have a mortal wound, but its mortal wound was healed, and the whole world followed this beast with wonder. And if you look at Obama, and if you've studied Barack Obama, Steven Santoro, whatever you want to call him, he has mortal wounds to his head. You can tell the scars on the back of his head is there. And people need to wake up to the fact that, in my belief, if you look at Hollywood today, it's modernized. The Bible, to me, is an ancient way of policing people's thoughts and keeping people in control. That's just my personal belief.
And I think you're right on it, without a doubt.
But it's still our script, no matter what, for the people that believe,
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Mike, it's just, to me, it's never been proven wrong. I kind of know the book fairly well. There are others that know it a lot better than I do, but to me, it just literally tells me, it validates the veracity of the word, simply because, man, everything that it talked about is coming true. Not only that, but with artificial intelligence, there's also another part in Revelation chapter 16 that talks about that they're able to give life unto the image of the beast, and that's exactly what's happening with our artificial intelligence. And I'm sure I don't have to get into the mark of the beast and all that stuff with you guys predicted in the Bible. It's exciting time for me, and again, Jesus said about 2,000 years ago, when you see these things begin to happen, look up, because I'm coming back. And that's my belief as a pastor. I don't preach a religion. I preach a relationship, and although I am a pastor of a real church down here in southern Arizona, I tell my folks all the time, man, God doesn't care about religion. What he cares about is your heart.
Right. That well said.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's the way you and God have your own, what's the word I'm looking for? Relationship.
Exactly.
It doesn't have anything to do with anybody else in your life. It's just between you and him.
Yeah.
Well, and I've talked about this before too, Mike, with the angel numbers and numerology, and my 222 that I've seen my whole life. And I looked that up, and it told me that I'm in some, and I believe we're all angels. I believe we're doing the good work.
Yeah, it comes down to your personal relationship, like we're saying here, and it also comes down to how you treat others, and how you perceive and how you act through times through your life with other people, how you interact. You have to be somebody that can see the other side and forgive and forget. It comes down to just being righteous, man. It comes down to seeing the whole picture, and all this satanic stuff comes through fruition through the Roman Catholic Church, and they believe in Satan. They don't believe in Jesus. They worship Satan. And I know that's a big thing to say through the Roman Catholic Church, but it's linked all the way back through history. It's one of the most powerful organizations on the planet to this day. They've infiltrated all kinds of different governments through presidents, through the courts, the CIA, NSA, Mossad, high-ranking military officials, like I've said in my video, and it's so true. And they're bringing this to fruition through all the money and the usury money system that they've entailed and bestowed on us to control mankind. Period.
Well, when you look at the corporation of religion itself, these bastards sit on thrones of gold while people are starving. The Catholic Church is one of the richest.
Well, absolutely. I mean, they're the ones that gave the Jews. They announced them servants of the royal chamber back in 1039 AD. Gave them the permission to use usury money, and they're basically they're bookies, okay? And they get the bad rap, Jewish people, because they're the ones that are doing the usury money through the usury money system. There's always going to be more debt than money. We've talked about this before, but it all comes down to the Roman Catholic Church and their control over nations. Their control.
That's an excellent point.
It's always because it's all the way back to the Babylonian days and the Persians, the Greeks, the ancient Greeks. All through history, superpowers have tried to take over the world, and now we have this new world order coming to fruition, and they're doing all this stuff with all this technology and bringing up these satanic rituals for opening a freaking tunnel. I mean, wake up.
Yeah, and I'm going to kind of jump around here. The one thing I forgot to mention when we were talking about the different military exercises and stuff going on, there's also the FAA is getting ready to test. There's a flight advisory where they're going to be doing a GPS interfering testing at China Lake, California.
That started today, Mike.
Yeah, and
Right.
It goes on for 7 days. I heard about that too.
yeah, it's supposed to maybe take the GPS signal down for about 6 hours a day. Now we just, what's that going to do to the airplanes? We've already had a Blue Angel go down. Somebody got killed. We've had the Thunderbird go down just, I think, yesterday. Yeah. He actually made it out okay, but we got planes dropping out of the sky all over the place.
Well, and you got to think that's part of this Cascadia Rising as well.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. But
It just sounds like testing for an EMP. I don't know why. That's what it brings to mind.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but
I agree.
a lot of us out here, we don't think we're gonna get to the election. I mean, I got a gut feeling that they're definitely gonna try to pull something off by then.
I've been saying that on my channel for years. For years. I think this election thing is just bread and circus to keep everybody busy.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. So we're all pretty much on the same page on that.
Just ask your people that you interact with every day that aren't really awake if they feel like something's not right, and have them give you an honest answer, and you'll get feedback.
Well, and a lot of our major events are backed by drills. You got the Boston bombings, which was a drill for backpack explosives. Sandy Hook was a drill for school shootings. And then you've got 9/11, the monster of all drills, which they had jet fighters so confused as to what was drill and what was real. Nobody knew what was going on. Cheney was in charge of all that and
Which
stood
is
down.
ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, he gave Cheney a command over the jet fighters and took the generals out of it that day. He's right on this one.
And they changed all the laws right before, where they had to go through a different chain of command before they could release fighters. And right after 9/11, they changed it right back.
But hey,
Yeah, I mean, you have a nation that's never been invaded ever before. I mean, and 4 planes flew around for an hour and a half without any interception of any fighters whatsoever.
It doesn't work like that in real life if everything's on the up and up.
Yeah, and there's a lot of weird stuff going on. You know, we got our military boats, our big giant war boats, I think we got like 10 of them, and 7 of them are getting ready to ship off somewhere. So we're not going to have hardly any protection, you know, on our coast.
And the funny thing is, and I don't think people realize this, but the big media takeover of the MK Ultra, as far as current events, started all in Waco, Texas, back in '93, when they portrayed these people as the Branch Davidians, as people that were out of society, people that were unwelcome and had some kind of cult going on, when really these people were following this good book to the T. And if you look into this, I mean, what the ATF did to these people was homicide.
Absolutely. I mean, somebody comes in my window with a rifle, I'm going to shoot back too. And you know, I've talked about this on the show before. I used to fish down there, real close to the Branch Davidians, when I went down to visit my father-in-law, when me and my wife would go down there. And I saw their compound. I mean, it was clean. They had dune buggy type go-karts with, you know, tall flags on them. They were all lined up along the building, very quiet. Not a lot going on, and I wasn't there, of course. I saw the news, but they portrayed David Koresh as being some guy that raped children, and I mean, through the media, it was disgusting. It was
completely disgusting, and what they did to those people was even more disgusting.
Yeah, don't forget, they killed 22 children and 43 adults in that bus.
Yeah, it's sickening. And we ain't gonna have Steve very long. Hey, Steve, you got anything you want to add? Or
well, you know, to Waco's point, you know, back in '93 when that happened, that literally was the tipping point to get me to realize that our government may not be our friend. I'll never forget, Janet Reno did a press conference after they set the building on fire and killed those children, and a reporter said, "But why did you pump the? You remember that tank that went in and shot the tear gas?" We know now that tube got so hot that the insulation caught fire in between the walls when it punched a hole in there to pump that tear gas in. Well, they know that through the review, they know that thing gets red hot. That's what started the fire. And I'll never forget, a reporter said to Janet Reno, well, so why? What was the need to do that? And she said, no, we didn't start the fire. The Branch Davidians start the fire. And he said, no, I saw it with my own eyes. And Janet Reno said, what are you going to believe? What you saw or what I'm telling you saw? She said it right on TV. And I'm thinking, oh, and that literally, believe it or not, guys, is part of the reason why I'm here. I was a cop, for crying out loud. I was on the other side. So, yeah, that's what really got me started realizing government is not necessarily our friend.
Well, Janet Reno was also connected to the Jesuit order, as is a lot of the high-ranking officials in all governments.
What was wrong with her when she was talking about all this? She was shaking through a lot of her announcements, just shaking, unbelievably. I mean, does she have a physical condition, or was she just nervous?
I don't know, but that was just a trip, and that's what started to open up my eyes. Mike, you are right. I do have to run. I have another appointment I've got to get to, but it's great to be with all you guys. You know, keep up the good fight. God bless you all. And you know, we might not agree on everything, but the cavern between goodness and evil is wider, and only people that have their eyes open see that the divide is just getting greater and greater every day as the enemy, Satan, and his minions try to make the lines blurrier and blurrier with men in the little girls' rooms and all this other stuff. As one of you said, it's a diversion, but it is a diversion that's coming straight from the pit of hell. So God bless you all, guys, and keep up the good work. Thank you for allowing me to be with you today.
Oh yeah, we'll have you back on when you got more time, brother.
Amen.
Absolutely, man.
Steve, I want to get you on too.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Steve, for coming on, man. You're a great speaker in it and have a lot of good points. And we'd like to have you on again, please. Yeah.
Good. God bless, man.
Yeah, you know, it's amazing that he brings up, once again, yeah, thank you for coming on, but it's amazing that he brings up the transgender issue again. Did you see today where the Veterans Administration is now going to okay transgender operations?